Hey, this is Pamela Riemenschneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. Greg, it turns out apples are going to have to get aggressive this
Yeah,
year.
it's a big crop. They need to move it.
Yeah, and this is not the first time. Stamilt sent out an interesting news release talking about big Apple promotions with volume up, and I love their lead on their news release. Hey, they did a great job. Scratch last year's Apple plan because it's time to turn the tide on this year's big Apple crop. I mean, this is not the first time I've heard from an Apple producer that this year's crop is going to be big. The U.S. Apple Association says that back in August they sent out their estimate, and it said 1.5% more than last year. But the rumblings that I heard from Apple producers, especially at IFPA, are that we've got a lot of apples to sell. And Apple trends
It's
over the
in
last couple of years haven't really been super fantastic.
No, it fits in nicely with the value proposition that retailers are forced to take in response to consumer complaints about food inflation. So it's really, I mean, pretty good timing. People
Yeah,
could really
it's
Retailers could make a lot of noise about really good Apple deals if they wanted.
and really good apples too. I mean, Stamilt's numbers are just saying that their Honeycrisp sold in October 2023 sold 4%. The numbers grew 4% more than of 2022. So we're already seeing more apples sell through, and there's more really fantastic apples available. And you and I both know that Red Delicious is nobody's favorite. And it's really been hurt over the last couple of years with export markets being more limited due to tariffs. And we've also got good news on that horizon too, because India has dropped its 20% tariff on apples from the US. So there's some what do we call this, tailwinds as far as the finance speak goes on some of the Apple opportunities, but the headwind is a lot of apples to sell. So we're not going to be seeing a ton of premium prices, which is what the growers need. But for consumers and retailers who want to move a lot of apples, there's some opportunity.
Yeah, we also had an Ag Tools graphic that kind of laid out the situation and how this year's crop is different than the last couple.
Yeah. So and we'll link to those so you can check those out. So it goes into the volume of apples July through October, and then comparing apples 2019 to 2023. So a lot of really interesting data points in that to take a look at.
Well, that doesn't even mention the Envy promotion with Hallmark actor Andrew Walker. I know you're a huge fan of his.
Oh, that is.
I didn't know who it was either. I'm not the target audience.
I'm not
For
the target audience here, but listen, the amount of crazy videos that you see, like talking about it's sweater weather, and you're gonna like cuddle up in your house with your mug of pumpkin spice whatever and watch some Hallmark Christmas movies. That is a huge market of primary grocery shoppers in families. So
I gotta think you're pretty close to that demo.
everything but the Hallmark Christmas movies. You would think, but I like the classics. I am more of a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story on repeat. I'll just watch those over and over again. I don't need any new material in my life. Although that new Christmas song that Travis Kelce just recorded this week, I'll probably listen to that one too.
Yeah, it's with his brother who they face each other Monday night.
I know, super exciting. I mean, this coming week, the next couple of weeks, I mean, both of my kids are doing a ton of sports right now. We got sports on TV. I mean, it's a good time. And then we've got a lot of really great news as far as food goes as well, because the Farm Bureau came out with its Thanksgiving forecast. Prices are actually down a tiny bit. That's great news. And then another like feel good news that I thought was interesting, and I've talked about it before. Mr. Beast dipping his toes into produce.
I knew you'd bring that up. It's like anytime there's a golf connection to produce, like I'm all over it. And anytime there's a Mr. Beast, Like you are just going to dominate that.
Is that when it first happened, it was the Mr. Beast burger. And the whole reason why was the connection to the ghost kitchens. And ghost kitchens are kind of back and forth right now. It was a really great point in time when we were all just trying to figure out this takeout thing. But now Mr. Beast's philanthropy arm, which I think has done a really great job of inspiring a lot of younger people like my kids into more philanthropy. My kids randomly started asking me to, when can we donate to this organization, or can we distribute socks and underwear, because they found out that socks and underwear are one of the highest needs for folks who are, in need at the moment. But the Beast Philanthropy is actually working in produce, and they are working with an organization called Sharing Excess and starting a gleaning operation in Hunts Point. So there we go. And as we know that this is a 33 million pounds of food that they plan to donate nationwide, then they're opening this Sharing Excess thing. And this kind of stuff can grow really quickly. So they've got an operation at the Philadelphia market and then Hunts Point market. And I bet you we will start to see more coming soon. We've got some Blue Book members who are donating to the cause, including Cy Katzman Produce and Diorigo in New York. So, I mean, now that we're seeing Mr. Beast in produce, I mean, I felt kind of cool this morning when my kid's sitting there eating his bowl of cereal, watching a Mr. Beast video on a tablet. I'm like, oh yeah, hey, he's doing something in produce now. And my kid didn't pay that much attention to me, but he said cool.
Mr. Beast definitely has scalability, and some of his social media numbers are just astronomical. So it definitely should not be taken lightly that the industry is getting a connection to this. It's a very good thing, and it's a new market. It's not, again, that's not I'm not the target demographic for Mr. Beast, but Gen Z for sure.
Gen Z, Gen Alpha especially. And if we can get these kids talking about produce and the importance of including produce in charitable organizations and charitable giving, we're not just talking about, canned and boxed food. Because in the past he's worked with Smithfield Meat and just given away meat at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So to see him come into produce is welcome news, of course.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we also have to talk about the latest retail ranking system, and I'm sure you've got a problem with it, like usual.
I mean, dunnhumby is usually my favorite. Listen, okay, dunnhumby and their retailer preference index has a lot of the methodology is pretty solid on it, but they have a new one out here where they're talking about personalization. And personalization is becoming popular, and not just, I mean, popular is the wrong word. Personalization is becoming more possible because of when you click on your website and you're ordering online and you say accept all cookies, well, they know you. They got your info, and they can see where you go and see what you clicked on and see what you clicked away from. And so they have this retail personalization retailer preference index, and number one was Amazon. Surprising.
Yeah, that seems rigged. Like Amazon came up with a system that they could that they that they knew they would be at the top of.
I mean, anyone who buys anything from Amazon, you have to know they know everything about you, right? So of course they're going to be able to personalize everything. But the rest of the top 10 were grocers. And number two, which I have no problem with, of course, my hometown fangirl HEB. And then Kroger, Giant Eagle, King Soopers, Meijer, the Giant Company, Target, Fry's, which is Kroger as well, and Smith, which is Kroger as well.
King
How many of
Soopers.
these are Krogers?
Yeah,
Huh?
right, exactly. I was like,
wait, that's like 4
Kroger's
Krogers.
doing okay.
You know what? If they combined Kroger, King Soopers, Smith's, and Fry's, would it overtake Amazon, I wonder? Because wait a minute. Hold on.
That is a good question. I wonder if Kroger's PR people are looking into that. They should.
Yeah, they were like, wait a minute, hold up. Some of the key findings for the study, only Amazon, HEB, Target, and ShopRite, who ranked in the top quartile of the retailer preference index, which comes out in January, were also ranked in the top quartile of this personalization thing. Costco and Aldi, not so much, but think about how many people shop online and shop at Costco and Aldi for their groceries. There's not a whole lot of opportunity to capture more, and especially since up until recently, or even now, I think they are both pure Instacart retailers. So I'm wondering if there's enough data, and enough personalization on behalf of the retailer, or if Instacart is picking up all of that information. Some interesting things to dig through here, but of course we had to poke fun at Amazon for creating an award that only they could win. So
Yeah,
I think
I'm not taking that leap to get groceries that way. We'll leave it at everything else.
I think they need to do a study about those of us who try to buy online and then we get 3/4 of the way through the process and get frustrated because we can't find anything. Does this put me into like this crotchety old shopper that no, I gotta do it myself, and I have to touch the produce. It's not that. It's that when I'm trying to go through the thing, then I'm like, it's not refreshing, right? It's purely for me less difficult to shop online to shop in store than it is to shop online. And I know people who it's exactly the opposite. They really enjoy like being able to just pull up to the store, have somebody chuck stuff into their car and be done with it. But they probably also shop purely from a list. They probably have a meal plan. They probably have an organized pantry. They probably know what's in their refrigerator. I don't always know. I mean, my life is an episode of Chopped. I never know what I'm making when I go down to the kitchen unless I have specifically shopped for one special thing. So I think the online shopping is for people who are more organized than I am. Their lives
Probably.
are
So
not chaos.
that brings in AI. So you need to start checking with AI and put your ingredients in and ask for recipes.
You know what though? The thing is that the startup cost of that is me going and finding out what's in my kitchen instead of just like hanging on the refrigerator and going, I've got this and this and this, and we have everything but avocados right now. Let's have tacos. It's of course that's cheating because at any given moment in my kitchen I can make a taco out of something. So on that note, that's it for the Produce Reporter Week in Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up.